Hello everyone. Have you ever felt like you know the words in English but still can't make people truly understand you? Maybe your ideas sound messy or unclear, even though you practice every day. In today's lesson, we'll fix that together. I'm Peter, and welcome back to English Unlocked, the channel that helps you express yourself confidently and sound more natural in English. In this video, you'll discover 4 simple tips to communicate clearly in English, how to simplify your ideas, prove your points, connect emotionally, and use real examples that make people listen. Each tip comes with practical examples you can start using right after watching. So, are you ready to unlock your English confidence and speak clearly like a native? If you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. That way, you won't miss the next lessons packed with more useful tips and stories to boost your English fluency. When I started learning English 10 years ago, I had one big problem. I wanted to say so many things, but my ideas were not clear. I spoke fast, I used many words, but people still looked confused. I felt a little sad and thought, maybe my English is not good enough. But later, I learned something very important. It was not about big words. It was about simple ideas. So, the first thing I want to tell you is this. Keep your ideas simple. When you speak English, try to say only one main idea at a time. Think, what is the most important thing I want to say? If you can find that one idea, you can build your sentence around it. It's like finding the heart of your message, the core. For example, when I talk about this lesson, I can say, I want to help you speak English clearly. That's one clear, simple sentence. When your idea is simple, people understand you faster, and you feel more confident when you speak. So remember, good English is not about using many words. It's about using the right words for your idea. When you start to simplify, your English becomes easier to say and easier to understand. In the next part, I will share how to prove your ideas so people really listen and believe what you say. Let's keep going together. Step by step, your English will grow stronger. After I learned to keep my ideas simple, I found something new. Sometimes, even when my sentence was clear, people still didn't understand my meaning. I realized I needed to prove my ideas. When you speak English, you can't just say something, you need to show why it is true. In my early years of learning, I often said, learning English is hard. But when I added a reason, it became stronger. Learning English is hard because I don't have people to practice with. Now my listener can understand me better. They can see my reason. They can feel what I mean. When you prove your idea, you help the other person follow your thinking. It makes your words more clear and natural. You can prove your ideas by giving examples, short stories, or reasons. It doesn't have to be long, even one simple example helps. For example, when I say, speaking English every day helps me remember words, I can add, because when I say them many times, they stay in my mind. That small reason makes my idea real and easy to believe. So, when you speak next time, don't stop after one sentence. Add one more small reason. It shows that you know what you're talking about, and people will listen to you more carefully. In the next part, I'll share how to connect your ideas to feelings, because when people feel your words, they remember them longer. Let's keep learning together. After I learned how to prove my ideas, I understood something even deeper. Speaking English is not only about words or grammar. It's also about feelings. When you speak with feeling, people listen to you more. They don't just hear your words, They feel your message. I remember when I first talked to a foreign friend. I was so nervous. My hands were cold, and my heart was beating fast. I wanted to sound perfect, but I forgot many words. Then my friend smiled and said, "It's okay, just tell me what you feel." At that moment, I stopped worrying and just spoke from my heart. And guess what? He understood me. Not because my grammar was perfect, but because my feeling was real. When you connect your words to emotion, your English becomes alive. If you are happy, let your voice show it. If you are sad or excited, use simple words to share it. People remember your feelings more than your mistakes. So, next time you speak, don't try to be perfect. Try to be honest. Talk about what makes you smile or what makes you tired. When people feel your heart, they will understand your English, even if your words are simple. In the next part, I'll show you how to share your own stories. Because stories make your English powerful and easy to remember. Let's keep going together. After I learned to speak with feelings, I found one more thing that helped me a lot. It is to share your own stories. Stories make your English real and interesting. They help people see what you mean. When I was learning English, I often told small stories from my life. For example, I told my friends about the first time I spoke to a tourist in my city. I was scared, my voice was shaking, and I said only short sentences. But after that talk, I felt so happy. It was not perfect, but it was real. That story helped my friend understand me and also made me remember new words. When you tell a story, people listen to you more. They can imagine your feelings and your situation. You don't need big words. Just use simple English and be honest. Stories connect people. They show who you are and help others trust you. If you don't know what story to tell, start with something small. Talk about your day, your study, or something funny that happened. Even a short story can teach a lesson and make your English stronger. So remember, stories are not only for fun, they help you learn faster and speak better. And now, after all these steps, simplify your ideas, prove them, add feeling, and share your stories. You are ready to communicate clearly in English. Keep going, my friend. Every small story you tell brings you one step closer to speaking with confidence. After I started sharing my stories in English, I noticed something important. I needed to listen more. Listening is not just about hearing words. It is about feeling the sound, the rhythm, and the emotion behind the words. When I began to really listen to English every day, something changed. I listened to podcasts, songs, and short videos, even when I didn't understand everything. At first, it was hard. I only caught a few words here and there. But slowly, my ears started to understand more and more. It felt amazing. One day, I was listening to a talk show, and suddenly, I understood a whole sentence without translating. I smiled so big. That was the first time I really felt English. Not in my head, but in my heart. That small moment made me believe, yes, I can do this. Listening helps you speak better too. You start to copy the sound, the tone, the natural way people talk. You learn how words connect and how emotions come through voice. Even when you are busy, just listen while cooking, walking, or relaxing. Little by little, your brain will start to think in English naturally. So remember, before you try to speak more, learn to listen deeply. Listen not only with your ears but also with your heart. Because the more you listen, the more English becomes a part of you. After I learned to listen more, I found something that made everything even better. It was thinking in English. At first, I didn't believe it was possible. I thought, how can I think in another language? But I learned that it's not about being perfect. It's about training your mind little by little. I started very small. When I woke up, I said in my head, "Good morning." When I ate, I said, "I'm eating breakfast." When I saw something nice, I said, "Oh, it's beautiful." Simple words, simple thoughts, but they helped me so much. At the beginning, my brain wanted to go back to my own language. It was hard. Sometimes I felt tired or slow. But I told myself, it's okay, just one small step every day. And after some time, I noticed something amazing. My mouth spoke faster. My words came more easily. I didn't need to translate anymore. Thinking in English helps you feel more free. You don't have to stop and change every word. You just express what you mean naturally and simply. And you start to sound more like a real English speaker. So, my friend, don't wait for your English to be perfect before you think in English. Start with small thoughts. Practice every day, even 1 minute. Your brain will learn, slowly but surely. And one day you'll realize English has become part of how you think. After I started to think in English, something new became clear to me. To really grow, I needed to practice speaking every day, even if it was just for a few minutes. Many learners wait for the right time or for their English to be good enough. But trust me, that time never comes unless you start now. In my early days, I was shy and afraid to speak. I didn't want people to laugh at my mistakes. But one day, I decided to talk to myself in English, out loud. I described what I was doing. I'm walking to work. I'm making coffee. At first, it felt strange. But after a few weeks, my mouth started to move faster. Words came easier. It was like training a muscle. The more I used it, the stronger it became. Then I began to speak with other people, online, at cafes, anywhere I could. I made many mistakes, yes, but I also made progress. And every time someone understood me, even a little, I felt proud. That small success gave me more courage to keep going. Speaking every day doesn't need to be perfect. You can talk to yourself, a friend, or even record your voice. The goal is not to sound like a native speaker. The goal is to express your thoughts. So, my advice is simple. Don't wait, just start. Speak a little English every day. Even 5 minutes can make a big change. Because practice is not about being perfect. It's about getting better step by step. After I started speaking every day, I learned one more important thing. Don't be afraid of mistakes. For a long time, I wanted my English to be perfect. I checked every word, every sentence, and I worried too much. Because of that, I spoke less and I lost many chances to practice. One day, I talked with a native speaker. I made many mistakes, but he still understood me. He smiled and said, "It's okay. You speak very well. You are learning." At that moment, I realized something big. Mistakes are not bad. They are a part of learning. Without mistakes, we can't grow. So after that, I started to change my mindset. When I made a mistake, I didn't feel sad anymore. I just thought, great, now I can learn something new. Every time I corrected myself, I felt stronger and more confident. And soon, I noticed that I was improving faster. If you are scared to make mistakes, remember this. Even native speakers make them too. The most important thing is to keep going, to keep trying. Because every mistake is a small step forward. So, my friend, don't wait to be perfect. Speak, write, and listen with courage. Let your mistakes be your teachers. They will guide you to real progress, one small step at a time. After I learned not to be afraid of mistakes, I started to see learning in a new way. I understood that enjoying the process is the key to learning English for a long time. In the past, I always pushed myself too hard. I wanted to learn fast, finish lessons quickly, and speak perfectly. But that only made me tired and bored. One day, I decided to change my way. I told myself, let's make English fun again. So I started to watch movies, listen to songs, and read short stories I liked. I didn't study every word, I just enjoyed it. And something amazing happened. I learned faster without feeling tired. I remember laughing while watching a comedy show in English. At that moment, I realized I was learning and smiling at the same time. It felt natural, not like studying. That's when I knew learning English is not just about hard work, it's also about joy. When you enjoy what you do, you don't give up easily. You wake up excited to learn more. Even small progress feels good. So my advice is simple: don't make English a heavy task. Find fun ways to use it in your life. Sing, talk, laugh, play. When you enjoy learning, English becomes your friend, not your homework. And that's when real progress begins. After I learned to enjoy the process, I realized something very deep. Learning English never really ends. It's not just about reaching a goal. It's about growing a little every day. Even after 10 years, I'm still learning, still improving, still finding new words and expressions. And honestly, that's what makes it beautiful. In the past, I wanted to finish English. I thought, one day I would know everything. But I learned that language is like life. It keeps changing and we keep learning. So now I don't rush. I take it step by step, enjoying every small moment. Sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I forget words, but that's okay. Because learning English is not about being perfect, it's about connection. When I talk to people from other countries and they understand me, I feel proud. It reminds me why I started. If you are learning English, remember this: don't give up when it feels slow. Every small word you learn, every sentence you speak, brings you closer to confidence. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small wins. Learning English is a long journey, but it's also a beautiful one. And if you keep walking, one day you'll look back and smile. Because you didn't just learn a language. You opened a door to a bigger world. So my friend, before we finish, let me share 2 simple tips that truly changed my English journey. First, speak a little every day, even if you're alone. Your voice is your best teacher. Second, don't chase perfection, chase progress. Small steps every day will take you further than you think. If today's story helped you, don't forget to subscribe to English Unlocked for more real lessons and easy tips like this. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep smiling, and keep unlocking your English.